Exam room poltergeists. As the final resting place of many, hospitals are undoubtedly filled with negative memories and associations. But what if there are ghosts too? This lab technician was privy to one such instance where a vial seemed to leap off the table onto the ground with no outside force. It was like someone was sitting there, batting it off the side of the table. The person he came in with didn't seem to believe him, but it happens again right at the end of the video. We can clearly see another can is caught inching towards the edge of the table. Instead of getting freaked out, he forcefully puts it back in place. One mess is quite enough.
Close encounter at home. Looking at your home security camera shouldn't fill you with a sense of dread, whether or not it's directed at your home. These homeowners have their cameras trained on their driveway, catching the moments as a red car pulls up on the road. Only moments after the initial driver gets out of their car, someone comes up behind it. It all happens a little too fast to really catch because the person who sneaks up into the car drives off with it. Suddenly they're being chased on foot and then another car as the car's clearly been stolen. The camera pointed towards the driveway catches this all on cam, but it was likely not that useful given how far everyone was. The dozing driver. When you're learning to drive, the instructions are that you keep off the road if you feel tired. For private vehicle owners, there's no excuse that can save you from this rule. For public drivers, the situation is somewhat complicated, especially when you have to work for more hours and you're already tired. However, there's no valid excuse in the face of a car crash, especially a ghastly one. In this video, this Colorado driver is clearly distracted. His constant signing and scratching on his neck indicates tiredness. What's worse, his attention was everywhere but the road in front of him. When you're tired, your brain can't focus on one thing. It's like it wants to escape. The driver keeps glancing around and forcing his eyes open every 3 seconds. He's fighting to sleep on a dangerous highway. When he keeps his eyes closed for more than 3 seconds, a multi-car crash happens quick as a breath. Deep, terrifying tunnel of crickets. Every town, city, and area has its creepy, dark secrets.
Stop it, are you serious?
They house one of the country's creepiest, most disturbing tunnels in Copley, Pennsylvania.
Those are like the things like in the movies but smaller.
Look at them all.
No.
There's nests of them.
Absolutely covered, top to bottom in crickets. A fair warning, it only worsens from here. Even the people exploring this dark, deep tunnel seem unsettled by the critters huddled together in pods and nests of dozens.
I just kind of want to get this place.
Oh my god, I can see them jumping.
Oh god, they're everywhere. Oh.
The crickets are known for jumping when they feel threatened, but the guy keeps going, knowing they're harmless as long as you keep going. The tunnel is partially collapsed. As he goes down deeper, you can see the rubble from inside falling and partially obscuring the path. While he keeps going, he says he plans to continue down the tunnel, well past his or anyone else's comfort levels, because he wants to see it to the end. This old rail keeps going until he eventually finds the other side, which is blocked off and impossible to pass.
And right here is where it comes out in the building, and the crickets are really bad up here.
He turns back around through the buck and debris to head back out. This is basically a horror movie in the making, but it's also an urban explorer's absolute dream. Man watches live as burglars break into home. While at work, a man received a notification from his home security system saying that the cameras detected people inside his home. He immediately checked the feed from his cameras because no one was supposed to be home at the time. He watched the live stream of 2 burglars breaking into his house. They broke in through the back of his house and headed upstairs. The man immediately dialed 911 and the police said that they would respond quickly as the burglars were actively inside the home. When the police get there, they sneak quietly up the stairs and then tell the burglars to get on the ground.
You're on the floor now! You're on the floor now! On your feet!
One burglar escapes out an upstairs window while the police arrest the other one.
Hands behind your back. Who else is with you? Answer me, who else is with you?
The police were able to catch the burglar who tried to escape outside and arrest him as well.
Get up, I'm sorry. walking out of here with you. Well, let's go.
The homeowner was grateful to have installed the security camera because the burglars were unable to steal any of his belongings. Lufthansa wing strike in Germany. It was a cold day in Germany when this aircraft was suddenly disturbed by a violent storm, like the one in this clip. Lufthansa Flight 44 flew into the country from Munich. Ignoring instruction and advice from air traffic controllers, the crew believed that they had a better idea. They preferred runway 23, deciding to skip out on 33 because it was more equipped with landing instruments. The downside, however, is the way it was susceptible to crosswinds that immediately tried blowing the plane out, of course. They touched the pavement just as a strong wind blew the left tip to the ground. Crew members moved quickly, pulling the plane back into the sky, circling for a while, before making a safe landing. It was a tense few moments before they regained their bearings, but luckily no one was harmed.
Das ging Banner in die Hose. Also ich glaube, dass sie das gleich einstellen hier. Glaube ich auch. Hast du das gesehen? Der hat den Flügel doch meiner Meinung nach...
Solo camping. Most campers go out in groups. There's safety in numbers, and it makes the entire experience more bearable. One female camper was camped out in her van. A little after 4 a.m., she heard knocking on her window, which woke her up.
Somebody's back here again. I hear footprints.
She waited, and someone knocked again. She said hello, but no one replied.
Hello?
The incident was a little creepy, so she peeked out from her window and saw someone on a paddle bike.
20 minutes ago, I was in a dead sleep, and I was woken from a knock, like right where my head is, ironically. So I was like frozen. I looked at the time, and it was very strange to me, like who would be knocking on the van at 4:30 in the morning.
It went quiet for about 20 minutes before she heard knocking again. This time she asked them what they wanted, and they replied that they had a question for her.
How can I help you? It's 4:30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. Who are you?
The woman told them that she didn't feel safe with them there. This time when she peeked out, she saw headlights a little distance away from her van, which meant that they had come back with a vehicle. Everything went quiet once again.
I hear it again, like a knock on the side of my van again. How can I help you? And they say, I got a question for you.
Then when she started recording the video, telling about her experience, the knocking started again.
I hear footprints. Hear that? Yeah, somebody was just here again, 3 times now.
The woman was worried and felt unsafe. She informed the viewers that even though she was equipped with a knife and knew how to defend herself, she still felt scared and worried.
I do sleep with this beside my bed. And, I never thought that I would have to pull it out or grab it.
In the morning, she went out and saw footprints around her van. Her water bottles had been spilt. She informed the viewers that due to the snow, her tires had frozen over and she had not even been able to drive away. Let's hope neither the woman nor anyone else ever has such an experience ever again.
So I come out this morning and you can see footprints. Look at this one. This is mine. I'll show you. There's mine. See?
Gas station carjacking. Pulling up to the pump is usually a quick one-and-done situation. This person quickly found out that being careless with your vehicle can have more ramifications than you'd think. You're not supposed to leave your car running, of course, mostly for safety reasons. However, after filling up the gas can in his trunk, the man leaves his car unattended, likely running into the store for something. No matter how quick his trip was supposed to be, leaving those keys inside meant someone was able to slip into the car and lock it from the inside. The man comes running back to stop the car thief, but he's no match for a drive-off. The thief decides to ignore him and drive away. The comments make a point that it was less likely keys were left in the car than it was a push-to-start situation, but even then, lock up your vehicle. Man steals wine from Target. In this bizarre video taken by a customer, a man brazenly steals at least a dozen bottles of wine from the shelves of a Target store. He carries a large sack and starts casually grabbing wine from off the shelves and placing them in the sack. The weirdest part of the video is how nonchalant the man is. Unlike other thieves, he makes no attempt to hurry or avoid people seeing him. It's almost as if this is just a regular day in the life for him, which it might just be. If you look closely, you can see an ankle monitor on one of his ankles, proving that this isn't the first time this man has had trouble keeping the law. Robber points gun at couple. Creepy situations in horror or thriller movies give us goosebumps when we watch them. However, experiencing such creepy situations in real life can cause unexplainable reactions. You can take defense classes to always be alert, but the first few seconds in an attack always evokes fear and shock. This couple had no idea they were being followed by a psychopath robber. Thanks to the doorbell camera, we're able to see the moment the robber pointed his gun at the couple. On the 15th of July, a couple in West Denver, Colorado were traced to their home by a robber in disguise. People say that they were walking home when they noticed a man and a woman following them. They made it to the house and ran inside when the male robber pointed a gun at them. The couple said they slammed the door as soon as they stepped into the house. From the footage, we can see that the suspects turn around immediately when the door is shut. They laugh at the scared couple and speed off in a white sedan. Attempted ambush on the highway. If you're driving down the road, the last thing you want to see is your car being surrounded. This person pulled up to the light and was quickly surrounded by people and vehicles alike. If he'd stayed in place even just a few seconds longer, he probably would have been a victim of theft or worse. Instead, the driver begins backing up, getting away from the dangerous situation. He's followed, but it's not enough to stop him since he's in the car. The truck that was blocking him tries to do so again, but he continues backing up. Then an SUV tries to block him and he quickly swerves out of the way. He manages to get out with his possessions and his life. Do you think you could have had such quick reactions? Handling a dangerous situation at the moment is easier said than done sometimes. Car crashes into a driving school. What do you do at a driving school? Learn to drive? Apparently, this driver chose the most iconic way to say, "I can't drive." He crashes his car into Southwest Safety Training, a driving school. The video opens with a non-eventful vista. Parked cars, then the SFT building, looking as peaceful as it can be. The person taking the video is in a car. What he was intending to capture is unknown to us as he keeps his camera pointed forwards. A man is seen stepping out of a white car. Moments afterwards, you see a car tear in from the other side of the street and smash straight into the training school building, smashing right through the front door, taking out one of the pillars as it peels right through.
Oh my God! Holy
You hear one of the people in the car ask, "Anybody in there?" And the video maker responds, "Yeah, there's somebody in there."
Bro, where'd they come from? People in there? Yeah, there's somebody in there.
We'll learn later that no one was hurt in the incident, yet the biggest question from this video isn't simply about how the driver went off-road to slam into this building. It's more about what the driver was offered as punishment for his error, and here we hope he got a ticket to improve his driving and reduce the risk of such incidents in the future. Ghoul on board. When a mysterious noise caught Francisco Hernandez's attention at the end of his shift, the 32-year-old turned his flashlight down the aisle. However, he noticed a ghastly figure peek its head out.
No mames.
The guard quickly runs to get himself away. You can see as the figure pokes itself out not once, but twice, as if doing a double take at the security guard as he looks. I think the natural response is to get as far away from the ghoulish figure as possible, especially given the way he had just looked there, and nothing had been in that compartment before. What do you think? Ghost or hoax?
No mames.
The Buckethead Burglar. Thieves are fun to watch, especially when they think no one is watching. Their efforts to disguise their appearance can sometimes be way overboard, but one look at this particular burglar and you'll laugh so hard. He either forgot his mask at home, or this is a crime of opportunity where he simply picked the bucket, threw it over his head, and proceeded to walk around a seafood shop stealing a few supplies.
A Louisiana man apparently forgot his mask at home.
Yeah, look at this guy. The 23-year-old suspect decided to improvise with a bucket on his head.
Not bad.
Here he is on surveillance video robbing a seafood business where he once worked.
Watch as he navigates the shop, pausing now and then to pick up what he needs. It's pretty difficult to walk around when you have a bucket without eye holes thrown over your head. Watch as he stumbles and staggers clumsily. Sometimes he lifts the bucket ever so slightly to allow himself a look around the shop that he's robbing. He didn't run into too many obstacles also, and that might be because he'd worked in this shop in the past, or because he used a bit of echolocation like the bats do. But whatever he's doing, it's hilarious watching him stumble around with a bucket on his head. Buckethead's an apt name, isn't it? Scary Masked Man has some evil plans. There are levels to the terror thieves and burglars bring when they invade your privacy or attempt to invade your privacy.
Well, it's 10:10 here. Imagine this. You're asleep and in the middle of the night, you see a masked man on your doorbell camera.
It's a terrifying thought, and that's what's happening uptown. It's all caught on camera.
This man wakes up to find one scary video recorded by his doorbell cam. A man in what can only be called a really good mask can be seen trying his door to see if it's locked or opened.
A really creepy looking mask, almost like something you'd get at like a holiday store, like a Halloween store.
The criminal didn't try too hard. He simply tries to turn the doorknob to see if it gives. Here's how you know he's making random attempts.
Probably just trying to get into the house to see if he could break in and get anything.
When the owner of this home shared the video with others in the community, someone shared a video of the same man captured in a different home with the same MO.
He was wearing the exact same mask, came up to that person's front door, also tried to get into the house, didn't have any luck, and turned around and left.
He walks up to the house at night and tries to see if the door will give. He doesn't try to pick the lock or break it down. He just pushes against it and walks away when it doesn't give.
So we've all been talking about it and making sure to kind of stay on extra alert.
Waking up to see someone had attempted to get into your house while you slept must be one of the most disturbing things anyone can go through.
Really creepy knowing that it was the night before and, you know, didn't wake up when it happened.
Overhead cam on a Costco panic. The thing is, sometimes there's no reason for that sort of behavior. We don't get to know every crazy person's motive, no matter how much we want to understand. People act out, and often that affects the people around them. The clip starts with action as people rush into Costco. There's something behind them that's clear, but we don't know what. The man on the line calls the emergency line, explaining that there's an active shooter. He's frazzled, but the energy bounces off the cool-headed operator. He does his best to articulate what's happening, but that's easier said than done.
He's yelling at people running out Costco. I just walked out and stopped. You need to send somebody right away. We might have an active shooter here.
We're going to be on the way. I'm just going to try to get additional information from you. Are you a customer or do you work there?
I'm a customer. People are screaming.
Okay. He's a white.
I'm a federal agent. I just don't have a freaking my sidearm with me. Okay. We need to get somebody there now.
Okay. You saying that over and over is not going to make them get there faster. They're going to be on the way. Just answer some of my questions, please. Is he a white male?
Quickly, things get out of hand. The man on the other end of the line keeps his cool, but he reels the caller in. Hysteria won't get them anywhere, and he's rapidly losing his train of thought. As the man on the line tells everything he knows and sees, he stays outside. The clip shows shoppers disarray as they retreat, trying if nothing else just to stay safe and alive.
911 Lenexa?
Yes, this is Keith Hagstrom over at Costco Wholesale.
Okay, yeah.
Hopefully you received the 911.
We are on the way. Are you inside the store?
No, everybody's evacuated on the back side of the building. Marshall Drive hopefully is cleared out.
And where was this person last seen at?
Last seen at the entrance door, brandishing a weapon up in the air, screaming, "Do not close the door on me."
Okay, but can you see him right now?
I cannot see him right now. Everybody has left the building.
Okay.
We evacuated it from the back side.
Okay, they are on the way, all right?
Okay, thank you. Right arm. I'm a federal agent.
Okay. White male, in his 60s, camouflage jacket.
Camouflage jacket,
and it was
cargo pants.
And it was
carrying around a revolver. It looks like a revolver.
It looked like a revolver? Okay.
Yes, he's already pointed at one gentleman. The gentleman ran away. That's when I passed him. Now he went in the store. People are running out of the store.
Okay. Hang on just a second.
The caller explains that he's a federal agent, and while he did begin the call posted outside, he finally decides to go running in. We can see in the clip as he stalks down the would-be shooter, announcing his presence. The man weaves through the aisles, catching up to the shooter eventually.
911 extra. Hey, well, let me answer this. 31's arriving. 911. Alright, I'm gonna let you go.
Despite the officers being on the scene, call after call comes in from concerned people, worried if they don't call, no one will.
Hi, my name is Josh DeFlon. I just came from Costco at 95th Street. Okay, we're already there.
Hi, I'm at the Costco on 95th and I-35.
Okay, yeah, we have officers that are there. Do you... Hey, Tom, the manager of Costco Wholesale. I know you guys got people en route. There's officers in the parking lot right now.
Some left and got to safety before they called. There's nothing the operator can do. With mass events like this, people don't want to waste precious moments. Fortunately, officers were able to locate and take out the shooter, likely saving quite a lot of lives in the process. Door slammed shut in abandoned school. In this video, a group of YouTubers explore an abandoned school in Massachusetts. The school's covered in graffiti, some of it being satanic.
See? There's even more stuff. See, who knows what goes on around here? This whole place is full of devil-worshipping people or something.
The school has a dark history as well. It was originally a prison before it was converted into a mental institution for mentally disabled children. The school was later abandoned, and many people who live near it believe that it's actually haunted. In the video, as they head down a hallway, a door creaks open by itself. Then a loud bang comes from down the hall.
Oh my god, did you get that on tape? That is insane. Oh my god, another door just closed.
Then the door that had opened by itself slammed shut.
Oh my god. We gotta get the out of here.
The group is terrified as they thought that they were the only ones inside the school at the time. Their video only provides evidence to the claims of the school being haunted. Target customer angered by worker's mask. In this video, an angry woman was removed from a Target store after she got mad at one of the Target's workers for wearing a Black Lives Matter mask. Allegedly, the woman asked the worker to remove the mask because it offended her.
Taking any merchandise from me, I'm not touching
Oh, you're not taking anything? No, well, this is going to corporate. This is going to corporate. No, it already is, because I have a right to my opinion.
When the worker refused, the woman started causing a scene and was removed from the store. The video was taken from outside the store as the woman started yelling at the manager for removing her. She tries to convince the manager that the Black Lives Matter movement sucks, while the manager tries to explain to her that she was removed because she was disturbing other shoppers by yelling and screaming in the store.
So you should understand.
It's not all
you should understand.
Lives. It's not Black Lives, it's everybody.
The woman clearly doesn't understand, as she starts filming on her phone and tells the manager that she'll be sending the video to corporate. It seems as though the woman may be suffering mentally, or at least in regards to her maturity, as she repeatedly makes unclear statements like, "I am everywhere," to try and defend herself.
I'm everywhere, okay?
I understand.
You don't. You
that
don't.
wasn't why you
The Mets suck too.
No.
Thankfully, Target protected its workers by removing her. Thieves set fire to Target store. In this video, 3 thieves tried to think outside the box as they made an attempt to rob a Target store. The video was taken by a surveillance camera, and the footage shows a semi-large fire growing in the women's clothing section of the store. This fire was no accident. The thieves set it in an attempt to distract people while they grabbed items and put them into large bags. However, because Target stores are so large, nobody really noticed the fire until it got very big. One thief stood as a lookout while the other 2 grabbed merchandise and shoved it into large bags. When the fire was finally noticed, the entire store was evacuated, forcing the thieves to have to leave too. They did take the bags with them as they evacuated the store, but the fire didn't do enough damage to stop the surveillance cameras from capturing clear images of their faces. The footage was played on local news after the event, and the thieves were identified and arrested. Live snake found hiding on Target shelves. One Target shopper thought a snake toy had accidentally been left on the baked beans shelf of a Target, but when its tongue flicked out of its mouth, she realized that the snake was very real and alive.
I was gonna take a photo, the tongue came out. And that's how I knew this is a real snake.
She immediately got out her phone and started filming. In the video, the snake slithers across the food shelves. The woman alerted a fellow customer who told the store associate. The associate was able to capture the snake and release it safely back outside. Luckily, it was a rat snake, a type of non-poisonous snake that's harmless to humans. End of night at a disgusting McDonald's. There are many reasons to avoid a McDonald's, and cleanliness can be one of the best. When dealing with food, you want the utmost standard to be kept. That's not always the case for understaffed, mismanaged fast food places. This McDonald's in Uniontown, Pennsylvania is a good example of things getting kicked behind the machines all day, or an even better example of a health code violation. Either way, this short clip is a great opportunity to rethink your dinner plans today.
JetBlue pilot restrained by passengers. Passengers of this JetBlue flight learned firsthand that the worst-case scenario might look like if your pilot can't retain their calm demeanor.
On a JetBlue flight headed from New York to Las Vegas, the pilot started screaming about bombs, Al-Qaeda, and telling passengers to say their prayers.
Unfortunately, the pilot began to act erratically, and clips show as he becomes unhinged, and the passengers had to restrain him on the ground. They made an emergency landing and everyone was safe. As it turns out, according to the pilot's wife, he was experiencing an uncharacteristic panic attack due to some unknown stress. While luckily things were kept under control, I can only imagine the onboard panic when the group would realize that the flight was no longer in control.
He started to curse at me and try to tell me, hey, you better pray, Iraq and Iran. And so I say, you know what, I'm going to show you what Iraq and Iran is. And I took him on a chokehold.
Being on a plane can be terrifying in and of itself. This certainly wouldn't help.
Escalator accident leaves many injured. In this video, a busy escalator malfunctions while a lot of people are using it. The malfunction caused the escalator to reverse and start to move at a very high speed, causing the people riding it to fall and start piling up at the bottom of the escalator.
The fact that it just immediately goes in reverse and you're falling on top of somebody and the person on top of you and you can't move because someone's on top of them, I mean, it's scary.
2 families riding the escalator were injured and are now suing the company that manufactures the escalator.
It's pretty busy. I mean, it gets a lot of use. It's on track 1 and 3, and it gets lots of usage, especially like game days or when they have the marathon or the functions.
The company was not able to determine why the escalator malfunctioned, leaving many people in Boston to be worried about future malfunctions.
It was just in a absolute free fall. It was like being on the Tower of Terror.
Unwanted visits. When you decide to pitch your tent in the Kalahari Desert, you must already know what risk you will face. In this terrifying video, a group of campers is awakened at 6 a.m. by some not very promising sounds. In particular, the chilling sound of a lion's roar can be heard coming from outside the tent. The lion can be heard roaring for a few seconds and then moving further away. As stated in the video description, every hour or so, from about 2 in the morning, the campers could hear the lion calling to his mates, warning others of his presence and gradually getting closer to the tent. Terrified, the campers can be heard discussing what to do. And fortunately, in the next clip, they can be seen safe, perhaps in their car, while the lion can be seen returning to the tent, entering and marking territory. The animal then leaves the camp without anyone being hurt. Surely an unforgettable experience.
Saved by the Bell. Age is no barrier to the law. Younger perps might get lesser sentences, but being a minor does not mean you're not subject to consequences. This body cam footage shows the moments as Ohio police respond to a dangerous call. These boys had allegedly brought guns and masks to school. With calls like this, you can't waste a second. It could be life or death.
Come on. You're being detained.
What?
Detain him.
What I'm getting detained for?
As they enter the school, the officers apprehend the boys in question, except they aren't looking to play nicely. The boys bolt off all in different directions. It makes sense. Split up and they can't all get caught. The cops on foot, however, aren't going to give up without a fight. Several of them struggle, but they continue pushing past their physical limits to go after these kids. Who knows what would happen if they got away? For all they know, they could be armed.
Put your hands up! Don't reach for it. Don't reach for it. Alright?
Go over and find Mark going.
Anybody with those cars?
8132. I'm with a couple guys here. On the shoreway. Thank you.
What's your call?
8132.
I'm with 8182.
Half a member of Barney 15 as well.
Sorry,
Put them in there.
the cars.
What, the other two going to school?
What's the description of those guys? I dropped my cuffs somewhere along.
Nobody reads your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney if you cannot afford one. You will be private. You understand?
So we do or we don't know?
On both fronts, the officers corner a few of the kids each, one group seeming to get as far as the highway while the others tried to lay low close to home.
Why are you running?
Your car in front of you.
Neither route proved effective. Because the cops mostly kept their eyes on the would-be criminals, they were able to properly track them down and subdue them individually.
Why are you running?
Because y'all was grabbing me. What the hell?
You ran before we got to you, man.
No matter what is y'all grabbing me for.
The residential group, though, they're not going down without a fight. The boys continue resisting arrest no matter how caught they are.
Calm down. You just ran.
You retained for what? You came up to me for no reason first.
Oh, we would have told you. We would have just talked to you.
Why was y'all grabbing me though?
Y'all coming for us. Huh? It's too hot out anyways.
This was a close one. These cops responded quickly and stayed consistent, which might have saved many lives that day.
Engine falling apart. You shouldn't look out and see your plane's engine falling apart. The clip shows that the machine is falling apart, burning from within, and the pilots have to quickly make an emergency landing.
Mayday, Mayday, United 328 Heavy, Mayday, Mayday aircraft just experienced engine failure, need a turn immediately.
Things could have gone south very quickly, but instead, they made their way to the ground despite all odds. This clip is fast, but they were moments from disaster, as the flames could have easily caused an explosion or even sent them out of the air in a crash landing.
Sinkhole takes trees down. When the video opens, the surface of the water is very calm, but you can see how peaceful the whole place is. Nothing is moving, not even the water. But even as you watch this relative peace, the makers of the video could already see the end coming. You could hear them say, "It's moving," but you really can't see what's moving, can you?
They move it, John.
Yep, I got it. I got it.
The only thing you really notice is the tiny bubbles over the surface of the water. Now, besides the small bubbles, look further forward, to the group of trees closest to the front. Keep your eyes on them and watch as they're gradually swallowed up. They're sinking slowly into the sinkhole, not keeling over or snapping, but sliding into the mouth of the earth like the earth was suddenly beginning to eat it up. Then it happened. More of the trees along the same line are also going down with him.
Soon, they're all swallowed up without a sign left to show that the trees ever existed there moments ago. The surface of the water is muddy now, and the lower stem of the trees still standing are now showing visibly above the water, showing that the water level is lower or that the sinkhole probably took a little gulp as well. The sinkhole simply ate the trees up without spitting any bit of them out. When you look at the height of the trees before they're swallowed up, then you're awed by how deep the sinkhole must have been to take them full length of these trees.
Witch's ritual. While there is a thrill in the unknown, it's still better to be safe than sorry. Knowing the history of a place where you're going to camp is a priority, and it's necessary for your safety. A group of campers decided to ignore all warnings given to them regarding the forest that they were set to stay in. It was famous for a lot of witch trials and cult practices. The camping was going fine until nightfall. That's when the campers heard a noise and went to investigate. They saw various objects made with twigs and wood hanging from the trees, similar to how it would be in a witch's ritual. They also noticed the branches of the trees moving strangely and felt the temperature drop suddenly. Something was thrown at them from the darkness. Then they saw a figure dressed in a black coat standing at a distance. The next moment it was gone. The campers were so freaked out that they decided to leave the camp then and there.
Cracked plane wall. The last thing people want to see when on a plane is a massive crack up the side. These passengers unfortunately got to deal with that firsthand, as they saw an open crack on the side of their mid-flight plane appear. The flight attendant seemed to be checking on the brake in person at the beginning of the clip, only to quickly see as people move quickly away from it. No matter how many went up to inspect it, it's clear that everyone surrounding the split wanted to get away. One wrong turn and the plane could have easily split in half. Luckily, they made an emergency landing and no one was hurt, but I wouldn't want to get back on an aircraft quite so quickly after that. Brace yourself for landing. Nothing is worse than to brace yourself from the people flying your plane. When passengers on one American Airlines flight from Phoenix to Dallas heard that, the group remained calm through the landing.
You will need to be seated in a brace position for landing. To brace, place your feet flat on the floor, cross your wrist, and hold on to the seat back in front of you.
Luckily, we can see the exact terrifying moment here, as they're all told to stay seated because a clever individual had the forethought to start recording.
Brace.
The landing was made and everyone was safe. Thanks to the calm demeanor of everyone on the plane, nobody was hurt and nobody panicked until they were well off the plane. Many people will never have to hear over the intercoms, brace for impact, or even just brace as they did. But if you were ever wondering what that was like, it's a little like this.